The top focus at this hour is the development in the Sushant Singh Rajput case. Now, as the ED investigation into the money laundering case against the Chakrabortys gathers steam, Rhea Chakraborty has filed a fresh affidavit in the Supreme Court. In this affidavit, she complains of media unfairly holding a trial against her and pronouncing her guilty for abetting Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide. Riya says that Sushant's case is being blown out of proportion just because there are elections round the corner in Bihar. She claims that the F.I.R. at Patna was registered because Bihar Chief Minister got involved in the registration process, all because of elections. Sharon is now joining us live. Sharon, I believe you have Vikas Singh with you live, who is the lawyer of Sushant Singh's family.
Absolutely, Poonam. In fact, I am joined by Vikas Singh, who is the lawyer of family of Sushant Singh. Sir, development has in fact been happened in this case where the side of Rhea Chakraborty has in fact submitted in the High Court saying that she is being in fact somewhere the media she's shooting the messenger. She has in fact accused the media for trying to create a picture of her in a bad light. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Well, whether it be this case or any other case anywhere in the world, any case which people want to know about is always covered by the media. And media trial is integral to almost every high-profile case. I am quite confident that if the media brings out the truth, there is nothing which can be said to be media trial, because ultimately it's right of the people to know. And the kind of suspicious circumstances in which Sushant had died, there are billboards in California which says justice for Sushant. So that's the kind of feeling which is there all over the world, and I'm sure media is just satisfying that. As far as the campaign against her is concerned, obviously she has no answer to what the father has said in the F.I.R. And that is why the media is giving that side of the story more prominence than her side of the story. She is coming up with some WhatsApp messages, I don't understand, bringing in issues with regard to this sister, one sister of his. This very sister, Priyanka, whom she is alleging all that between her and Sushant there was a fight, etc. Priyanka was the nominee in the bank account in which all this transaction took place. Okay. The bank is wanting to give that money, whatever is remaining in that account, to Priyanka. Priyanka said, I will not take it. It should go to the father.
All allegations are false.
So all allegations are absolutely false. And the kind of, she says about the father, Sushant went to his father in May, took him to the village, got his hair tonsured for his, in memory of his mother. Met all his so what kind of rumors you're trying to spread about the family unnecessarily? I mean, this is just somehow a very desperate attempt, and I think she's spoiling her case further by this kind of a media retort that she's doing.
Also, sir, she's also pointing out that because probably there is in fact elections in assembly elections, upcoming assembly elections in Bihar, and the F.I.R. is also registered on the behest of Nitish Kumar. So a political angle is also being given by the side of Rhea Chakraborty at this point.
So if political angle is to be given, then she should be held responsible, because she ensured the death before the elections. Why did she not wait for the let Sushant live for another 6 months? If he had died after the election, then this question would not have arisen. Again, what insensitive argument you are making? A person has died. A father is feeling that justice is not being done to him. The entire world is feeling that justice is not being done to him. And she says that because of the election, so that means the death was planned by her for the elections. I mean, what nonsense is she talking? So and it's very insensitive, if you ask me. If a father is trying to get justice for his son, Mumbai police is not giving him justice, he goes to Patna. What does Mr. Nitish Kumar do? He only helps the father in getting the F.I.R. registered, and that too because the police was feeling that it's a very high profile case, they will not be able to handle this case. So he says, no, why not? Why will not Bihar police handle if there is jurisdiction in Patna? So that can be given a political color. If at all political color is to be given, it is to be given for the people in Maharashtra who are trying to, ensure that justice is not done in this case and the truth never comes out.
One last question, sir. Big day in Supreme Court tomorrow. Will it have, this submission, will it have any sort of impact in the ongoing case?
Well, I'd not like to comment on what will happen in Supreme Court. Thank you.
Okay. So that was the lawyer from the family side of Sushant Singh Rajput saying that this is it is very insensitive on the part of the lawyers on Rhea Chakraborty's side, claiming that this is connected to politics in Bihar, this is connected to the upcoming assembly elections in Bihar. Back to the studios.
Right, several allegations have been made in that affidavit by Rhea Chakraborty. Sharon, thank you for getting us the reaction, the exclusive reaction, of course, from Vikas Singh. Harish and Bhavtosh also with us on this broadcast. Now, Harish, you have accessed the 11-page affidavit that has been filed by Rhea Chakraborty. Apart from claiming media trial and the fact that this entire case is being blown out of proportion allegedly because of elections in Bihar, she has also spoken about the Enforcement Directorate probe against her. She claims that there are several other scams in the country which the Enforcement Directorate has failed to investigate, but is now only investigating her because of this entire matter and the fact that it is linked to the Bihar elections.
Yes, that's right, Poonam. Very wild allegations being raised by Rhea Chakraborty in the latest affidavit, and what is to be noted is that these are on very same lines of the reply filed by the Maharashtra government also. So we get to feel that Maharashtra government and Rhea Chakraborty is on the same page on this issue. Remember, even the Maharashtra government's reply says that it reminds the Supreme Court that initially Bihar police was reluctant to lodge an F.I.R, but only after the intervention of the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and the ministers Sanjay Jha was an F.I.R filed, and this clearly points to a fact that this is politically motivated, and this is what Rhea Chakraborty also says in her reply, that this is a politically motivated case. The family is not interested, but the politicians are, the Chief Ministers is, and the minister wants this F.I.R lodged just to draw political mileage ahead of the Bihar polls. This is a very wild allegation and amounts to insulting and humiliating the family. The Maharashtra government's reply also is replete with this. Remember, Poonam, Maharashtra government had also said that immediately after the death, Mumbai police had approached the relatives and even Sushant Singh's father, but at that point of time they did not have any complaint, and now whatever the Sushant Singh's father has done after 46 days is just improvement, just some improvement and change of stance to help Nitish Kumar and the Bihar government to and Nitish Singh's and Nitish Kumar's party in the elections. It can't get wilder than this. Such allegations being raised both by Maharashtra government and Rhea Chakraborty at this just hours before the Supreme Court is all set to hear the case once again. And this affidavit, which has once again raised wild allegations, and she says that she is innocent and is a victim of a media trial. And
she claims she's being made a scapegoat. She is seeking protection. That is the affidavit. The hearing, of course, is in the Supreme Court tomorrow. Harish, stay with us. Arunil is also joining us on this broadcast. But Bhavtosh, coming to you first. Now, we just heard from Vikas Singh, who's the lawyer for Sushant Singh Rajput's family. He claims that this affidavit is nothing but a knee-jerk reaction by Rhea Chakraborty to ED's noose tightening around her and her family.
Well, it's true that ED has questioned the Chakrabortys for a very long time. It started on 7th of August when Riya was called in for questioning for the first time. That day she was questioned for 8.5 hours. Then her brother was quizzed from Saturday till Sunday for 18 hours. And again, Rhea Chakraborty, her family members and also her staff has been called in by the Enforcement Directorate. So it's true that she's feeling the heat, but filing an additional affidavit is a right of any individual. She's building a strong case for herself. In fact, one must remember that she's the one who had gone to the Supreme Court first, and then subsequently other parties implemented themselves in this case, and Union of India also became a party when it went to the Supreme Court on Friday. Now, it's a very carefully crafted affidavit of the Supreme Court, if you go through it, Poonam, for a simple fact that it mentions two cases which has caused the maximum embarrassment, at least to the CBI, in past 1 decade. One is 2G case, which was built up by CBI as a case in which they will get sure shot conviction. All the accused in fact were acquitted. And then the Arushi Hemraj case, with the number of flip-flops that CBI did in that case, many will question why this probe has also been handed over to the CBI. So it's carefully crafted by criminal lawyers, and it would be a very interesting day in the court tomorrow when all the sides will argue in this case.
Right.
The case has completely become political. Yesterday, Sanjay Raut targeted Bihar Police DGP and saying that he wants to fight election, and then Bihar DGP also tweeted saying that such comments don't warrant any kind of reaction. So interesting day tomorrow in the Supreme Court.
Absolutely, all eyes will be on that hearing in the Supreme Court tomorrow. Now, Arunil, some would say that the affidavit that has now been filed by Rhea Chakraborty mirrors the stand taken by Mumbai Police and the Aghadi Sarkar in Maharashtra, because there are allegations of collusion between a top cop in the Mumbai Police force and, of course, the prime suspect in this case, which is Rhea Chakraborty.
Well, that is right, Poonam, rightly put by you. In fact, Rhea Chakraborty is the same person on 14th of July. She had asked for a CBI probe. And obviously, she was not happy with the investigation that the Mumbai police was conducting. Then she opposed the F.I.R. and an investigation by the Bihar police as well. The Chakrabortys basically want Mumbai police only to investigate this matter. The reason is very much apparent, because she was never been looked as an accused by the Mumbai police. In fact, the main investigation officer, the DCP of Bandra branch, Abhishek Trimuke, he had exchanged calls with Rhea Chakraborty as well. So the lens, or basically the suspicion cloud, was never on Rhea Chakraborty when it comes to Mumbai police investigation. And yes, the Maharashtra government has also reacted. Sanjay Raut today also spoke about it, saying that these all allegations are politically motivated. So basically, if the Bihar government is supporting Sushant Singh Rajput, or basically the family of Sushant Singh Rajput, to get justice for actor Sushant Singh Rajput, here basically in Maharashtra, the government, Vikas Aghadi government, to an extent is supporting Rhea Chakraborty and saying that it was unfair from the family to approach the Bihar police, and also saying that some members from the family also want to conduct elections, and that is why this has been raised so much. So it has been completely political. Both the governments.
This case has taken a complete political turn, as you're mentioning, Arunil. But Bhavtosh, this has always been about jurisdiction and a jurisdictional war, because it is the stand of the Maharashtra government, of the Maharashtra police, and also of Rhea Chakraborty, that the Bihar police has absolutely no jurisdiction in this entire case. The Maharashtra government also opposed a CBI investigation, claiming that the Mumbai police is efficient enough to handle this case on itself.
Well, adding to what Arunil has just said, Poonam, Maharashtra government has taken a stand that by transferring this case to CBI, and also with Bihar police carrying out its initial investigation, it's an attack on the federal structure of the country. States has passed to carry out to look after law and order, but in this case, Bihar police first filed an FIR. They should have idly filed a zero FIR and transferred the entire matter to Mumbai police. And then they have also quoted a standard operating procedure of the Ministry of Home Affairs of May 2013, which said that once you file a zero FIR, you then have to transfer the case to the place where the crime had actually occurred. That didn't happen in this case. Bihar police came here without informing the Mumbai police. But the fact is that Mumbai police's investigation itself is all over the place, conducted in a very unprofessional manner, and that's the reason why one did not even know what the Mumbai police was probing. Was it probing how Sushant killed himself, or what forced him to commit suicide, or were they probing nepotism in Bollywood? The fact is that what was the point of calling Aditya Chopra of YRF Films when the contract with YRF got over in 2015? Some questions that Mumbai police has not answered so far, including, as Arunil pointed out, why was Rhea Chakraborty in touch with the DCP, and why was DCP conducting an inquest proceeding when it can be...
We've lost that line with Bhavtosh Singh. Arunil and Harish are getting us the updates. Of course, this remains the top focus here on Times Now. It will be an interesting day in the Supreme Court tomorrow, where this case is going to come up for hearing. Fresh twist coming in this entire matter. We've seen over the last few weeks several twists and turns in this entire case of Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Here on Times Now, we're tracking all the developments. But time for a quick break. We'll be back with more on the other side. Stay with us.